Alright, time for another annual Mystical Ninja video from yours truly. First, we begin with our heroes Goemon and Ebesumaru getting kicked out of a store due to Ebesu doing what he calls a hypnotizing dance, but to no avail. While the duo collect themselves, as well as a new pair of pants, a spacecraft hovers over the town piloted by an extremely evil-looking pair of villainous villains. The devious pair then proceed to launch a beam at the castle, transforming it from a Japanese exterior to that of a more European persuasion. The absolute rat bastards. So now Goemon and Ebesu must save the Lord of Oedo and Princess Yuki, but not before climbing Mount Fuji. This is done in order for Goemon to receive the chain pipe from the acclaimed pipe specialist, Mokube. By the way, brave of him to set up his house right next to a lava pit. Whee! Gotta love that lack of fall damage. Now for the long walk back to Oedo Town, which was the style at the time because fast travel had to be earned. Back in town, we head over to the castle and use the chain pipe on the star blocks in order to navigate the broken bridge. From there, we head to our first dungeon, Transformed Oedo Castle. It's a fairly straightforward affair, not much in the way of exploration, but that's perfectly fine for a first dungeon. Gotta love that despite it being European on the outside, the inside still maintains a very Japanese theme. Maybe they just added some elevators? Who knows? What I do know is this boss is a joke of a joke. Just smash like the Hulk and avoid the laser, caution, and Bob's your uncle. After collecting the Miracle Moon, Goemon and Ebesu meet with the Lord and Yuki, who give them the task of stopping the evildoers once and for all. Our next stop is Zazen Town, but it is quite the trek to get there. First, we must head out of town, through a tunnel, and up a pretty steep hill. Oh look, it's the house of the mentor of our heroes, the Wise Man, and it's gone. All that's left is a conch shell, which Goemon uses to summon the giant mecha Impact, which comes complete with his own theme song performed by the late Ichiro Mizuki, which fucks so hard. This game also features an iconic intro performed by the legendary Hironobu Kageyama, aka the voice behind the iconic Chala Head Chala. Yeah, we got some real celebrity talent working on this game. Anyways, we cleaned this robot's clock something fierce. I genuinely can't remember a time when I did better at this boss fight before this attempt, but you know what? I've never been one to look at a gift sideways. And with that, we finally arrive at Zazen Town, wherein our duo teams up with the secret agent ninja, Yae! Oh look, our way forward is blocked by this big dude by the name of Benkei. Luckily, this cutie by the name of Ushiwaka is willing to help us, but first, we have to fulfill his neurodivergent tendency by collecting fish of a certain color in a very specific order. As a fellow ND type, I totally get it. I mean, I don't, but I do, if you know what I mean. Ushiwaka's contribution is handing us an Achilles heel, which we use to chuck at Benkei in a minigame, which I suppose is one way to prove our worthiness of crossing this bridge. Oh, and Benkei hands us a broken Robo party member by the name of Sasuke. Don't worry, we'll fix him later. After some exploration, we head to our next big set piece, a mind-controlled dragon in the fucking sky. While this boss isn't anything to write home about, the image of a boss fight on a mind-controlled dragon in the fucking sky is just cool. After defeating said machine, we drop down below and meet the human form of the dragon, Koryuta, who's the son of the dragon god. Turns out, the enemies known as the Peach Mountain Shoguns use Koryuta to abduct children from Zazentown as well as the nearby Fokipoke village to be a part of their stage production. Freeing Koryuta unlocks a fast travel system, or, well, as fast as this animation is. Listen, the 90s were a different time and we were still trying to figure things out in 3D games. Anyways, we're going to need to climb Computer Mountain and, thankfully, it's a much more straightforward affair compared to Fuji. Lots of steps though, but hey, no ladders or platforming required. We do this in order to deposit 5 Ryo to unlock Goemon's Flaming Ryo attack, which we'll need exactly once in this game. Not much to do in Fokipoke Village itself, but hey, this guy promises a reward for rescuing the kids, so that's incentive enough for me. On our way to the next castle, we have to cross this fucking bridge, which requires you to walk as slow as possible, lest you cause the lightly colored planks to fall! And as soon as we get to the entrance, the bad guys actually found the brains to lock the front door. Surprised more bad guys don't try that. So now we return to Zazen and reunite with Ushiwaka, who's lost a few dozen kilograms. He'll help us get into the next castle by completing this minigame, which requires Abesumaru to eat 8 sweets and avoid the Oyakata peeking into the cupboard. Oh, and according to my research, Oyakata translates to a master or teacher, meaning these beings exist to teach Goemon and company abilities. Anyways, Abesu can now shrink, and that gets us into this castle's entrance. From there, we still need to use Goemon's chain pipe followed by his Flaming Ryo to open the first door. From there, we basically go into a U-turn type motion in order to grab a key and turn on the crane game, which somehow, against every odd imaginable, I was able to win on my very first attempt, which almost never fucking happens. We did this to obtain the wind-up camera for Abesu, which allows us to attack ghosts and reveal hidden platforms. From here, we go through quite a few memorable set pieces, with my favorite being this billiards table, which only requires the player to hit whichever ball is highlighted. No actual aiming required. Also, these holes are only 2D textures. Man, I love this era of video games. So, the boss is moderately more difficult in that it's more proactive in attacking the player, but it's made vulnerable thanks to Abesu's camera. After just a few short moments, much like the quarterback, this boss is toast. And with that, we get a projection from one of the antagonists, who identifies himself as Spring Breeze Dancin' and gives Goemon the nickname of Fernandez for no other reason than the L and the O and the L's. And with that, we're off to Fokipoke to get our reward for rescuing the children, and it's a big, huge, honking kiss, which is unexpected, but appreciated. From there, it's back to Zazentown in order to head out the third entryway, which was locked by one of the missing kids, in order to retrieve the batteries to finally revive our buddy Sasuke. Told you we'd fix him later? Yeah, though, nothing in this game really tells you how to find the batteries, or that you need to as far as I can tell, you just gotta figure it out. Also yes, there apparently is a desert in Japan. The more you know by doing research. From there, we head into a cavern into the Festival Temple Castle. This is easily the easiest castle to get lost in. Easily. However, once you find your bearings, it all clicks into place rather nicely. The main goal is to find the kunai of extreme cold for Sasuke so he can freeze some really hot platforms. Platforming itself can be a little janky. You gotta remember, this game was made only about a year after Super Mario 64, so it's kind of a miracle it's even this good, really. This is all done to eventually take us to this massive room with a whole bunch of rotating fish. Without a doubt, the set piece that stuck in my mind the most from my childhood until now. I feel bad for folks who get motion sickness because this final fish goes fast. As for the boss, it's by far the most challenging, which I suppose makes sense as it is technically the final one in the game. Or at least the last one which isn't fought by way of a giant robot. The main strategy is to avoid all the plates and hit the red ones back at it. Not too difficult until the final phase, when the plates are dropping like the value of the American dollar. Following that, we get introduced to antagonist number 2, Kitty Lily, and we're told to totally not go to Kyushu at all. So obviously we go to Kyushu, and oh hi Goemon's girlfriend Omitsu. She just wanders right into the place, but before anyone can do a goddamn thing, the whole island is abducted and taken into the fucking sky. From here, we head to the fortune teller who can tell you your next objective should the player ever get stuck. This is the only time it's mandatory, and he tells Goemon to get a gym membership in order to progress, and thankfully, one opened up right next to his house. By the way, the Lord and Princess now live in his home. I guess they gotta live somewhere. Anyways, this minigame is for Goemon, and it requires him to throw boxes at Oyakatas to prevent them from popping balloons. Outside of the first 10 to 20 seconds, it's actually really easy. Our reward, going over 100 times over 9,000! This gives Goemon double the attack power but half the defense. Also, I really miss Akira Toriyama again. In happier news, our next stop is Festival Village, which we spent all of 2 minutes in before learning that we must backtrack all the way to Mount Fuji in order to once again meet up with Mr. Mokube to upgrade our weapons. And no, this climb is exactly the same as the first, so this just feels like padding for the sake of it. So we use our level 2 weapons to destroy this blockade in order to climb the mountain and see the old witch who'll help us for a fee. Gotta love when these old games would money gate the players, which is at least preferable to modern games that use real money in its stead. Those fucks. Thankfully, this witch is worth the price, as she tells us, via the ghost of the wise man, to gather up 4 miracle items in order to travel to the bad guy headquarters in space. Good for us that it's only 4 because we already got 3 from the other bosses, but before we can get number 4, it's once again time for another minigame. This time it's Yai's turn, and it's all about mashing the A button to swim up this waterfall and avoid the Oyakatas. This might be my worst run yet, as I damn near ran out of time, but I made it. And now for dungeon number 4, the Gourmet Submarine, which is located in the Frosty Sea of Japan. Oh my goodness gracious, this might be my favorite dungeon, not just in Mystical Ninja, but of all time, because it commits to being a gourmet submarine. Just look at, well, everything. You want an area that fully commits to the gimmick? Well, here you go, people. Gourmet Submarine! The only part I don't like are these fire-breathing kitsunes. I know I could freeze them with Sasuke's kunai, but I'm also screwed when it comes to cash in this game, and yes, it costs money to use any projectiles. After reaching the endpoint, we learn that one of the henchmen lost the 4th miracle item in Zazen Town, but before we can head there, it's time for another mecha fight, which means another rendition of I Am Impact. Say it with me, folks, dash dash dash! Just like the previous fight, we wipe the floor with this boss's corpse, which is actually kind of a grim image now that I actually put some thought into it. The only thing slowing us down is that partway through the fight, we get dragged underwater, but even with that so-called advantage, we definitively win. And now we go back to Zazen Town to get the miracle item from Benkei, who loves to boast about his big, massive collection, except he doesn't have it. Turns out this Kappa by the name of Kihachi does, and he'll only give it to us in exchange for a cucumber from the son of the town priest. But in order to get said cucumber, we must first survive 99 with the worst minigame alive. This one requires Sasuke to platform up this tower, and man, I truly can't believe that I did this in one attempt. It usually takes me anywhere from 3 to 5, but nope, Try number 1 got it done. What does it unlock? A motherfucking jetpack! From here I do a lot of cleanup, which just means I get all the remaining fortune dolls, which act as this game's heart pieces. Most of them you can get along the way, while others require abilities you get later on in the game, and yes, every dungeon outside the gourmet submarine has them. Before entering the final dungeon, you should have 18 hearts, so if you don't, be sure to consult a guide to make sure you don't miss out. Okay, we use the jetpack to meet up with the son of the priest, pay his ridiculously expensive fee, and get the cucumber, which we trade with Kihachi to get our miracle item.
Everybody got that? Good!
It was a quest of frustration to be sure, but totally worth it. Mostly, from here we meet with the Pemo god who launches us into fucking space. And we're immediately thrown into the final dungeon, which features the usage of everyone's abilities in order to progress to the halfway point. Speaking of points, I'll give some to the devs for hiding this fortune doll rather well. Always love when they keep the players on their toes. At said halfway point, we run into a Mitsu at the town restaurant, who informs us of a gentleman that might be able to upgrade our weapons to break the barrier to the final area. Who could it be now? Insert saxophone here. Oh, it's the wise man, who apparently did not die. However, upon learning that his house was destroyed, along with his quote-unquote car magazine collection, he immediately upgrades our weapons, meaning we're off to the final area. And man, what an area it is! It isn't long, but holy hell is it memorable. I just love everything about it. Bless these devs for making every single solitary room stand out. What's next may surprise you. This game rules. Regardless, the baddies activate a time bomb, meaning it's time for Impact's final fight in this game, so say it with me one last time, everyone! Dash dash dash! We technically have 2 back-to-back fights, first against this peach-shaped ship, which can be a real pain in the ass thanks to all the projectiles, and only having one specific vulnerability. But after that, it's basically a lock, as the second fight is much easier as, much like the first 2 mecha encounters, we can just use the chin pipe to wall up the boss into oblivion, as well as using Impact's epic Firemorizer move. After that, the day is saved and all is good. Well, except for all the angry fangirls. Oh goody, you done goofed, Goemon. Welp, rip in Pisces, buddy. And that's our main adventure, but what about the completion bonus? For that, we unlock a mecha gauntlet fight, and yes, your ammo and health carries over from battle to battle. I almost won, but I was already drained of health and ammo heading into the final fight, so my defeat was kind of inevitable. Still a fun mode to unlock for completing the game. As for the actual experience of playing through Mystical Ninja, it was still an overall really great time. I really wish Konami would just put this game on modern consoles already. Hell, that's the main reason why I keep making these videos. I'm all about art preservation, and one day this game will be unplayable, either due to my Nintendo 64 becoming faulty, or the cartridge, or the memory card. Either way, something's gotta give, and I'd prefer to not only keep playing this game myself, but pass that experience on to others. If nothing else, at least you can listen to the soundtrack on YouTube. Here are a few of my favorite tracks in the game. Also, all the towns are cool as heck. I already made a video talking about them in detail, so if you want to know what I think about them, be sure to check that video out. So yeah, this is an overall great time. If you have the ability to play this game, then do it. Mystical Ninja isn't a 10 out of 10, but its aesthetics, writing, and gameplay are all so unique to itself that it truly requires playing to fully understand. Even with this review being as long and detailed as it is, does not do the game justice. Play Mystical Ninja! And that's the video, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment telling me what you think about this game, if you've played it. And if you haven't played it, are you interested in it now? As for what's next, I have no idea. I've already gone back on the last 2 ideas that I had, so I'm not going to promise anything. All I know is it's probably going to take 2 to 3 weeks for my next video, so be sure to join me for that.
So taxing.